Welcome to the Save the Date podcast, where we talk all things weddings, jewellery and romance, with love from Cullen Jewellery. Hello and welcome back to the Save the Date podcast. I'm Sheridan.
And I'm Juliette, and we are so happy you're here.
I actually can't quite believe that we're in 2024.
I know.
It's
insane.
Literally insane. It's my first day back in the office today, and honestly, the past 2 weeks that I've been off, I haven't known what day it is.
Yeah, it's just, they all blend into one. Wednesday feels like Sunday.
Literally.
It happens every year. Everyone goes through it. We're all in it together.
It's a crazy time between like Christmas and New Year's, and then everyone's slowly starting to go back to work. Mm-hmm. It's a wild time. So yes. In the kind of theme of that, we have a bit of a fun episode for today, just to kind of ease us into the new year before things get too hectic. And we know that wedding planning can be such a crazy time. So if you haven't already, please take some time for yourself. Take a week or two off the wedding planning, unless, of course, your wedding is in like 2 weeks. But if you are a late 2024 bride or a 2025 bride, take some time off while your vendors are also taking time off. Just take a minute to breathe and, try not to get too stressed right now. So today's episode, we're going to be covering everything that we saw trending last year, the biggest and best weddings, and what we're super excited to see this year in 2024.
Yes. So hopefully you gain a little bit of inspiration and can take this into the remainder of your wedding planning. Or if you're just getting started, welcome and good luck. Now let's get straight into it.
Okay, so 2023 really started off with a big bang with Sophia Ritchie's wedding. I think that was probably one of the first weddings that I really saw go absolutely viral.
Yeah, I was so obsessed with it.
I was all crazy.
Looking that up.
Yeah, especially.
Off the plate.
I was not in like the engagement ring, wedding ring, jewelry industry at that point, but you were. So yes. I'm sure for you it was like...
Yeah, it was well and truly on my timeline. And I was not mad about it.
Yeah,
I love seeing her whole vibe is like gold for me. Like I loved everything she had.
It was, literally probably one of the prettiest weddings that I've seen.
Even just the way she or her PR team potentially, I don't know if it was her PR team or it was just naturally she was doing this, but the way she just popped out of nowhere on social media and started posting on TikTok in real time kind of changed the way people, I posted on social media about weddings. I feel like she really set this trend last year of posting in real time content on something on a day like that.
100%. I think she definitely kicked off the wedding content creators. Yeah. Like you said, real-time posting. And then just in general, I don't think I've ever seen weddings be this big on social media since Sophia Ritchie's wedding.
Yeah. And I think, again, with her posting in real time, it's like she almost it was like people were there with her. Yeah. And she was giving this inside glimpse to a celebrity wedding that you don't normally get to see. So I think people really kind of appreciated and latched onto that and saw her coming through as a real person rather than just this,
celebrity.
Yeah, behind, that is just like paparazzi photos that are really blurry taken from a helicopter. It's like, oh no, this is I'm a normal person.
Yeah. So a little bit about Sophia Ritchie's wedding. I'm sure everyone has seen all about it, but the wedding was in the south of France, and I looked up the accommodation for the place that they had the wedding, and it was 6,000 or over 6,000 Australian dollars for one night.
Yeah.
Just for just to stay there, not to do anything, just to literally go to bed.
Yeah.
Check in at 2 p.m. and check out at 10 a.m.
I wonder if they covered that cost.
That's what I wondered too.
Their friends would obviously be of a similar, I'm guessing, status. Yes. So they probably would be able to afford, I'm guessing, to cover that. But I'd be interested to know if Sophia and Elliot covered that cost.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but
Maybe it was Lionel Richie.
probably Ritchie, yeah. She had 2 Chanel dresses.
Oh yeah,
Which is which is very common these days to have more than one dress for your wedding. And I think she probably really kicked off the like mini party dress for the reception.
Yeah.
Because after that, then that was all I was seeing everywhere. Yeah. And I wanted one. And
yeah, literally so iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like watching her dance around in
barefoot.
her, like, barefoot at a reception or after party in this, like, couture Chanel.
I know.
Like, literally probably priceless because they were... And I think I saw some photos where she, like, by the end of the night, the little flower had popped off and it was missing. I was like, girl.
Her wedding, just, absolutely iconic. In, a couture Chanel dresses with Good Charlotte and dancing with no shoes.
I mean, iconic, also iconic that Good Charlotte is now your, like, family, in-laws, brother-in-law.
Yeah, so that was just, like, an iconic wedding to really start the year. Her florals, I saw an estimate on TikTok of her flowers alone being over 200K.
Yeah. I mean, they were also insanely beautiful. Like, the aisle was covered in these beautiful white
and there
flowers.
was, like, the steps that were covered as well. She had a lot of florals, so 200K, honestly, is probably pretty decent.
Yes, yeah. That's probably even just, like... Oh, it could even be a lot more based on the prices we see for like
that we've seen for very small
weddings. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true. And then an big estimate of an overall cost of $4 million, which again, based on everything that she had, could be a very lowball estimate.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she is very rich and famous. Okay, so sticking with the theme of celebrity weddings, we then mid-year had Barbara Palvin and Dylan Sprouse. They had a stunning, intimate wedding on Barbara's parents' property in Hungary. So we say small and intimate, but they did end up having 115 guests.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't say is small and intimate, but is more of like a standard wedding.
Yeah.
At least from what I've seen.
Yeah. Though I can also see how, like, for me, I've got a pretty big family. Yeah. So, like, I'd have 100 people easily.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I suppose it's that kind of balance of, like, small and intimate could also, I guess, mean, like, just the family. But, like, if you've got a big family, that's still over 100 people. So,
yeah. And they did at the time say that they were going to be then having a larger wedding party in California. But they said that was going to be at the end of 2023 and we haven't seen that yet. So that will be really interesting to see if that does actually happen and kind of what comes of it and what that's like.
Yeah. And apparently the whole ceremony was in Hungarian.
Yeah.
And Dylan and Cole were wearing earpieces. It's so cute.
So cute.
That is so sweet.
It's like so techie too. Like, I was wearing an earpiece to translate in real time what was happening in the ceremony.
Amazing.
And he had to say his vows fully in Hungarian as well.
Okay.
So he had to learn it. And I'm sure he probably has picked up bits and pieces over I'm not sure how long they've been together.
Yeah.
But communicating with her family and everything. But I do think that's really beautiful.
Yeah, that's really sweet that your partner can go that step further to, because I'm guessing maybe the reason they did that was her family didn't speak English. Potentially? I don't know.
I'm assuming so, yeah. That was kind of everything that I saw kind of led to that being the case.
Yeah, which is, really sweet.
Yeah.
And, like, also, like, I grew up watching The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So, like, the fact that he's married now is like, wow.
Wow, we are getting old. So she also had 3 dresses.
Oh, yes.
And I do actually like this. Her third dress is a Hungarian tradition and it's a red dress.
Oh, wow.
That you wear after midnight. So their celebrations, like, continue on through the night. And the tradition is that after midnight, you're no longer a bride, so you can't wear white anymore. Yeah, right. You have to wear red because you're now a wife, which I just thought was, like, really interesting. So she had this beautiful, it was like a kind of ankle length midi kind of dress, that was, absolutely stunning in like a vivid red color. And then Dylan also got changed into a red velvet suit.
Oh, that's cute. I like
match.
that.
And I couldn't really see if that was part of the tradition that the male changed,
or if they
just decided to do it. But I thought that was very nice.
Cute as.
Yeah.
I love that for them.
Okay, and then the year ended with the big drama of Madelaine Brockway's wedding. And I think we all kind of thought that it was going to be Sophia Ritchie that would take the cake for like the biggest, most extravagant wedding of 2023. And then Madelaine Brockway just kind of went, nope.
Yeah.
It's going to be me.
Yes. But not in a good way.
Not in a good way.
Unfortunately.
It started out like, whoa, this girl, look at her amazing wedding. She went like viral on TikTok. There were people saying like, is a big wedding, your one-way ticket to becoming the next big influencer these days. And that's kind of where she was trending for a day or two.
Yeah. Which I suppose I can see how it could be.
Yeah.
If you've got, this just extravagant, never before seen. Because I feel like with social media, it's like things that are completely different to everything else is what really gets a lot of attention, like no matter what you're looking at or what the topic is. So, if you can come in and people are just like, whoa. It kind of is a free pass to exploding on social media, but then a whole bunch of other stuff happened afterwards. Is that correct?
we'll get into that, but to start with, it was a fully week-long event. They had multiple videographers, photographers. The estimated cost of the whole thing was around $60 million. Maroon 5 was at the reception, which is just like for these two people that you've never heard of that like don't have famous parents to have a wedding of this size. I think that's kind of why it blew up so much because no one had heard of any of them before. It wasn't kind of like Sophia Ritchie where everyone knew her, knew her friends, knew her family, knew her dad, obviously. This was just, were they from Texas or something?
I think so.
I can't remember exactly where they're from, but just from some normal town in the US.
And I think even like I was seeing a few videos about questioning where they got the money from, which obviously that's not our business and that's personal, but like... If you're spending $60 million on a wedding, it's curious. Okay.
Of course you're gonna get those questions of like where on earth does this money actually come from?
How can I be in this business?
So I also saw one of their venues, there was a 3-month setup process.
Oh wow.
For the like wedding planners and everything. They said they built a village on the grounds of Chateau de Villette.
Wow.
Building a village for this wedding.
That's next level.
Next level. They had a floating platform in the middle of this like fountain on these grounds. Just,
It's almost like wedding. It is kind of interesting to like talk or think about. It's like at what point is it too much for something like that when the true meaning of the day still comes back to you celebrating love and marrying the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Like all of this extra stuff. Obviously, if you've got the money and you want to do this, of course, like go right ahead. That's personal preference. But it is kind of like for me, if I had that much money, hypothetically, like I still think that's too much.
Yeah, I still don't think that I would spend that much money.
Not even like the money if you've got that much. Obviously, if you're spending $60 million on a wedding, you can obviously very comfortably afford it.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But just all this extra like for what? Like why do you need to set up a village? 3 months.
I know.
Before. But anyway.
And have like but then of course not long after the wedding, all of the kind of drama came out about her husband. Do you know much?
No. I kind of tuned out at that point.
So supposedly her husband was actually going to court because he fired a firearm towards
yes.
police officers. Thankfully, no one was injured in the account. But obviously that kind of brought a big downer on this big wedding, and it was kind of like, were they just doing the wedding to have a big celebration before he potentially went to jail for the rest of his life?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
That's what I kind of saw a couple of speculations about. So I don't know how true that was as such. Like, for all we know,
Why was he
planning
firing at police officers? Do we know why?
There was like a big. Let's have a quick look. I remember reading something about it, but it wasn't. He faces or could face 25 years in prison. Okay, it says the allegations are that 8 months ago on March 14, several police officers responded to a disturbance calls in West Worth Village, Texas, with reports that a firearm was being used in a home. Upon police arrival, the officers reported they were fired upon by Lagrone, accusing him of intentionally and knowingly threaten imminent bodily injury.
Not good.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was just a lot of drama after that. A lot of just like bad media, I guess. And then it just kind of put a whole downer on the whole wedding itself and what could have been, like the wedding of the year. Yeah. And obviously, like I kind of said before, people were saying, is this her, one-way ticket to become an influencer? And then all of the news came out about her now husband and all of the accounts got deleted. Yeah. So,
right.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like, it's a bit icky, the whole situation. Yeah. And
just very strange.
And just,
in a way. That it's like, they were obviously posting on social media to get attention in the first place, I guess, or to show off
their wedding. And I'm not sure if it, like...
But they would have known he was in trouble with the law. So, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, this is obviously, like, fully just speculation, but, like, did they think, if we do this big wedding that we show on social media, it'll hide from the fact that you're getting, like, going to court for this shooting?
Or if you'll get some sort of special treatment.
Special treatment.
Has this newfound fame or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think the reality was that it kind of went the opposite way. No one would have probably known anything about this guy getting potentially sentenced to 25 years if they didn't have this big wedding.
Yeah.
Anyway. Crazy. So those were, I guess, the three biggest celebrity weddings that we had in 2023. So we'll move on to some of the trends that we saw in the world of weddings. So one of the big things that I noticed was customized embroidery on veils, gloves, sleeves, all of those kind of smaller things that you wear. And the first time we saw this was in 2018, which when I was looking this up, I did not realize Hailey Bieber got married that long ago in 2018.
It's been quite a while.
But she had Till Death Do Us Part on her veil, and I think it's just gained so much popularity since then, and more people are doing it.
Yeah. I think even Kourtney Kardashian, she had a bunch of stuff embroidered on her veil, was it? Or was it part of her dress? I just remember she was saying she had one of his tattoos.
Oh,
it was embroidered somewhere. I think it was her veil, but it could have been somewhere on her dress as well. Yeah,
because she had the really short dress.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so it must have been her veil.
It must have been, on the veil.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's like a very extreme. She also looks like she has, like, Mary.
Oh, yeah.
On there as well.
Yeah.
Which maybe is one of his tattoos. Yeah. But, I think we're definitely seeing that more and more amongst, like, the kind of normal weddings with people. And it's very, very cute.
I know.
I love it.
Yeah.
I wish I had something like that.
I know. Even I've seen people even on the bottom of their shoe, like in the, I guess, the crevice of the high heel where, like, you don't step on the part that stays fresh. Like in there, they'll somehow, I don't know if it's like a stamp or of some sort, they like the date of the wedding they'll put there.
That's so cute.
Or I've seen on like the groom's sleeves as well, they'll embroider the date of some sort or like something else.
It's just like such a cute idea, I think. And like really makes all of your items personal.
Yes.
Which we always say or talk about budget-friendly tips.
Yes.
You're probably not going to be able to resell that. So
no. Keep that in mind.
Just keep that in mind. If you're wanting to sell something, probably don't get the date of your wedding embroidered onto it.
No. Do it on something you'll keep.
The next thing that we saw was pearls everywhere. Pearls on cakes, pearls on shoes, pearls on veils, pearls on dresses, pearls on gloves. I also fell victim to this. I had a pearl veil and pearl shoes. I don't think I had pearls anywhere else, but I also think that this is a really beautiful trend.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
I think it's super cute. It adds like that little extra touch of something without it being over the top.
Yeah.
Like it's almost an alternative to having like diamantes or something like that, where it's like you're adding detail through texture without it being like too full on, which makes it really cute.
Yeah. And I think as well, what I've kind of been seeing recently is I feel like 2022 and 2023 was like scattered pearls, whereas the end of 2023 and kind of into this year, I'm seeing like pearls, like fully clusters of just, I saw a wedding cake the other day that was just literally covered in pearls. And like it looked so pretty.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of where they're transitioning to keep up with the trend. So like we're still going to keep seeing them, but just even more so.
Yeah. And you know what else I wouldn't be surprised enters the wedding industry after all the TikTok stuff is bows.
I have seen that. Yeah.
So like bows on shoes, bows, I don't know, on your dress, maybe in the hair, just like instead of a veil, a bow or something like that. I feel like bows are very on trend.
They're definitely
outside of the wedding industry. So I feel like they're going to start crossing over this year.
100%.
That's my prediction.
And the thing with those like little things like pearls or bows is that it's not really something you have to have planned and set in stone like a year in advance. So when you see this trend come on, if your wedding is literally in like a month or two, you can decide that you want to incorporate bows into your wedding now. You've still got the time to kind of add those little things in.
Yeah, the little small details.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. So moving on to 2024, what we think we'll be seeing more of this year. The first one is a wedding day content creator. So we saw this, I think the biggest thing that we saw of this was probably with Sophia Ritchie and then Madelaine Brockway. She had a content creator from Australia who flew over to Paris and was there for the whole week doing content creation for them. And something to kind of keep in mind with this is it's not necessarily only if you post on social media. You don't necessarily need to have a big following or anything to benefit from a wedding day content creator. They're more so like iPhone pics, iPhone videos that are going to be good quality, but you can just have them straight away in your camera roll.
Yes. So that's I guess for anyone who hasn't heard of this, it's basically someone who's there with an iPhone or a phone taking content on the day, because your wedding photographer and videographer, as like a standard is like 3 months you could wait. I feel like
probably more like 6 to 8 weeks, but still like a decent amount of time.
Yeah. So that's why people are kind of opting for this, because you can get some content of your wedding straight away. That's really high quality and really cute, like behind the scenes moments. If you don't want to wait a minimum of 6 weeks for your professional photos and videos.
And they're more like with your photographer and your videographer. So it's not really like you're just getting a photo from your cousin who took, just a quick snap when you were standing at the altar with your partner. It's like someone who's actually walking around and getting proper content. So that's kind of where it differs from just getting pictures and stuff off your family. They'll come with you for all of your portraits. They'll be there when you're getting ready, all of that kind of stuff. So they'll have all of literally everything from your wedding day. Okay, these next two, they kind of go hand in hand, but I think that we'll see more couples with either no bridal party or with their bridal party being seated rather than standing next to them. It kind of just gives a bit more of an intimate feeling, even if you have a huge wedding. If it's just like you and your partner standing at the altar, that kind of looks a lot more intimate, especially in photos and things like that. And then this is also just kind of handy if you potentially have a falling out with any of your bridesmaids. At least they're not going to be in any photos of you standing at the altar getting married.
One of the, yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it could be also fun if, like, to do it half of some sort. So you can still get maybe those traditional photos of like the bridal party all up at the altar with you, but like maybe halfway through or something they can sit down.
Yeah, or even if it's like when you start to do your vows or something, then they sit down and then you just kind of have that more intimate moment with you and your partner saying your vows.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And finally, to kind of go with that thought, is having statement decor and statement florals up there with you. So these are great if you're not thinking of having your bridal party standing up there with you, and they can take up the space if you feel like it might look a little bit empty or a bit, funny without it being full of people, I guess. So, you can, an alternative. Even if you don't want a bridal party, you could fill up some space with some florals or decor at the ceremony. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. And just in general, I think that we'll see a lot of statement florals and things like that. Because, I mean, that's what all the celebrities are doing. And generally what celebrities do, everyone else follows. Yep, they set the trend. And then the last one I wanted to quickly mention, which I have only seen at the last few weeks, is basque waistlines on dresses or drop waistlines. Yes, drop waistlines. I've been seeing that too. So if anybody doesn't really know what these are, it's essentially looks like a corset, but it kind of comes to a point, kind of in the middle at the front. I've been seeing these literally everywhere. Same. And they are stunning. So pretty. I love it. Like, I really, really like it. Yeah. It's almost like this modern twist on a vintage style dress. And, it's just so elegant. Yeah. I love it so much. I am, obsessed with that. And I think it's kind of hard to say with these whether we'll see them much for 2024 brides or if we'll see them next year for 2025 brides. Because I would assume a lot of 2024 brides will likely have their dresses already. And these, from what I've seen, is pretty much only from like bridal stores posting what they're getting in. Yeah. Which is kind of like, might be a bit too late if you're a 2024 bride. You might already have your wedding dress. With wedding trends, they tend to kind of trend over a few years because of that. Because you're planning for a wedding, a year or a year and a half, 2 years in advance, you kind of see the trends and then kind of buy them for a year in advance. Yeah. So they do kind of flow on for a couple of years before they start to fade out. We wanted to finish up with a wedding that I know I'm super excited to see hopefully come up this year. Yes. So we have Millie Bobby Brown and Jake Bon Jovi. I think that their engagement was just so cute, but they are still very young. Yes. I don't know if they'll do it this year. I don't know if they'll do it this year. Yeah. Like a lot of the times when I see young, people get engaged young, they're also getting married young. So who knows? But I think that it would be a really fun one. Yeah. I think it'd be super cute. Yeah. To see. Yeah. And also, I feel like Millie Bobby Brown is very humble. Yeah. So it will be even her engagement ring, although I think it's a 3-carat cushion or something, it's still quite a large engagement ring. It's not an over-the-top, humongous, obnoxious diamond like a Hailey Bieber massive opal. So, I think that would be really, really cool to see what they actually do with the wedding, whether it's this year or next year or the year after that. Yeah. I feel like there was a few celebrities who got engaged this recently. Yeah. I know even Demi Lovato got engaged recently. I'm like, okay. Slay queen. Yeah. Another one from my childhood. And also, did you see another one really late last year was Vanessa Hudgens? Yes. Oh, yeah. She just got married. Yeah. Yeah. Her dress was quite nice. I liked it. It was quite simple and very simple. Classic. Yeah. Her wedding didn't scream like celebrity wedding, which I think was really nice. Yeah. It's quite refreshing. Yeah. Now, Juliette, I do have one question for you because I know that you are also a dedicated Swiftie. Yes.
Do you think
Next month we're going.
I know. Do you think that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce will get engaged this year?
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But at the same time, I feel like, I don't know if they'd rush into it that quick.
Yeah, it's really hard to say because obviously she was in like a very long-term relationship prior to them getting together. And I mean, they've been together a lot longer than they kind of let on.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows? But I'm also with you. I think I'm in two minds about it.
Yeah.
Part of me is like they'll have a quick, like a really short dating period. They'll get engaged and then maybe get married next year or something. But she's still touring.
Yes.
So
yeah. Bestie doesn't have time for that. She doesn't have time for it.
You know what? If she gets engaged this year, she can only announce it in Melbourne on the Saturday.
That's right. Yeah. And I feel like her ring might be like more like Art Deco.
I've seen people say that they think if she was to get engaged, she would most likely wear her grandmother's ring.
Oh,
which I don't know what it looks like. I tried to look it up, but I'm not too sure what it looks like. But I can picture her in like a vintage
style ring. Yeah. Cute.
I can't picture her in a classic oval solitaire.
No. Not
personally.
Right, no.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Save the Date podcast. We hope you learned something new, and if you're currently planning a wedding, congratulations, good luck, and have fun.